gigantic next to you. Aren't we the same height?
We are, but I have a very small face.
Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Victoria, and today I'm here with
Rhea,
who is one of my best friends in the whole world and my future spinster wife. We're going to live together platonically as soulmates. What was I saying? Anyhow, today we are judging books by their covers, and so this is why I've asked Rhea on, because Rhea is the most judgmental person I know. That's why I love her. So how this game works is we have each selected books from our personal bookshelves in opposing genres that the other person doesn't really read, and we're going to take turns holding up the book cover and letting the other person guess what they think that book is about, purely based on the cover alone. So you guys know I read mostly fantasy, so I have a collection of high fantasy books here, and Rhea has brought contemporary books because I don't really read contemporary. I don't really care about teenagers in love unless they have magic.
Doesn't care about real people.
Fair. Basically, there's no scoring for this game, it's just hilarity and us being really judgmental about the other person's genre. We have also tried to avoid really popular books because in some cases, even though we haven't read them, we know what they're about. But we also tried to pick things you guys would be familiar with, so it's a bit of a mixed bag. But hopefully you'll enjoy this anyways. And the other thing to add is that we've also selected 2 books that have nothing to do with genres. They just have funny covers, so we're gonna start out guessing those just as a funny bonus round. So that being said, let's get started with the game. Okay. So, the first book I have selected for Rhea to guess is Unwind by Neal Shusterman, because I feel like this looks like somebody in the womb, so go forth and guess.
Well, that's a fingerprint. This is a fingerprint, and I can tell you that that is a loop, because I studied criminology. So we're having E.T. reaching out, and he's very small because he's in someone's thumb.
From the mouth of Rhea, Unwind by Neal Shusterman is about a tiny E.T. living in somebody's thumb.
Yeah, and he's trying to get out, like really. Like, you can see the desperation. He's just like, help me.
What this book is actually about, if you guys have not heard of it, is a futuristic Earth in which there was a civil war fought over reproductive rights, and the final conclusion to that was that you cannot abort your children and you have to have them until you're 13, but between the ages of 13 and 18, you can choose to unwind them, which basically means harvesting their entire body while they're still alive and using them as organ transplants, but they don't consider it death because you're kept alive through the entire process. So it deals with themes of what does it mean to be alive, what does it mean to be human.
So they'll take your brain out, but you're still alive?
Yeah, so they've like mastered the technology where they can...
Okay, what did the kid do in this book that got them unwound?
I think his parents just didn't like him because he was really difficult. But basically what happens is, at the beginning, his parents choose to unwind him, but he escapes and ends up with a bunch of other kids on the run.
Okay.
So it's a bit Darkest Minds, kind of really creepy.
Adults are bad. This is the synopsis.
Adults are bad. Kids are good.
Keep your organs in you. So the first book for Tori to guess is The Big Over Easy by Jasper Fforde. You are.
Okay.
Now looking at the back, it is alternate reality.
Okay, so there's an egg drinking booze and a telescope, a nursery crime. Okay, so I think that this is about what really happened to Humpty Dumpty, and what I think happened was that he killed a lot of people, and then the police force got revenge on him by turning him into an over easy egg breakfast.
Somewhat correct. This is a gun, actually. So Humpty Dumpty got shot in the back of the head, right while he's drinking on a wall. It's about the investigation into who shot him, and why he is dead, and why he fell off the wall and broke. What is it? Humpty Dumpty fell off the wall.
Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall, Humpty Dumpty had a great fall, and all the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty together again.
Why did Humpty Dumpty die? That's about it.
So, I feel like my first sentence was spot on.
And then she said it was a telescope. That's not a telescope.
Just took a left curve there that we didn't see coming. Yes. But I was kind of right. Humpty Dumpty is a terrible human.
Bad egg.
Round 2.
Well, this is the first round. First round fight. That was the bonus round.
We're the official round now.
Yes.
So I'm going to start off with one that you guys will love. Tower of Dawn by Sarah J. Maas. So Rhea has read the ACOTAR books and the very first Throne of Glass book.
Or at least ACOTAR books.
Okay, some of the ACOTAR books and some of Throne of Glass, mostly at my urging. But as I said, she's not a huge fantasy fan, so I'm going to say that's why she gave it up and not because of the problems with it.
It was more, I'm a character reader, so as soon as Farah and Rhysand were happy, I was like, alright, that's all I need to know, we're good.
But do they stay happy, Rhea? Do they?
Well, according to your live reading of that book, they were very happy.
Tower of Dawn, the
Okay.
6th book. What is it about?
6th book of Throne of Glass. So I know Selena is an assassin and that she's a fairy. So it looks like they are in what's mocked of a Middle Eastern city, because you got the Dome, or a Russian city. So whatever the equivalent of that is in this land. And there's a gladiator owl. I'm gonna go out on a wing here and suggest
That was so bad.
fighting pigeons.
Fighting pigeons? How does
And,
that fit in with the series?
Okay, Selena has turned herself into a fighting pigeon.
That was the first book.
It's a sneakier way to get in on people and kill them, like just right for the eyes, peck them to death. There's somehow sunlight involved, I don't know.
Well, you are vastly incorrect.
Really?
This book does not even follow Selena. This follows her ex-boyfriend Kale on his fun adventures in the South, and he ends up at the healer's tower, and he's got a really bad injury, so it's just his journey to not being injured.
Healers have snakes, though.
Well, in this case,
Why is it a
it's an
gladiator owl?
I can't actually remember if that's the healing mark or if that's like the kingdom
Kale's
they
mark?
visit.
Okay.
I forget. So
Fierce
you
pigeons.
hardcore fans can tell me. It was surprising because I really didn't like Kale, and so I thought I was going to hate this, and it's actually one of my favorites in the whole series.
Oh, okay.
Because the world is amazing. Like, there's fun birdie creatures, and it's very exciting.
Yeah.
Giant spiders. I liked it.
Was Aragog in that?
Yes.
And Shelob?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Except they're twins. and
Good.
they fall
Good
in love.
crossover. Could you imagine that crossover? Selena showing up in Middle Earth being like, you guys are taking so fucking long.
Fanfiction, write it.
Your turn. We're going to go with Radio Silence by Alice Osmond.
Hello, I hope somebody is listening. I'm gonna say there's a depressed 16-year-old girl and she's lonely and sad. But she might meet a boy who's also lonely and sad, and together they will realize somebody is listening.
So, kind of, except Frances is not lonely and sad, but she's just, if you've ever like had different versions of yourself when you're going through like the school Tori and then the home life Tori, and there's like slightly different. She's going through that, and then she meets someone who she can just be her authentic self with. It's not a romance between them because he's gay. He's also demisexual.
So it's a romance of the soul.
Romance of the soul. where
Like ours.
Yeah, you meet your people who you can be you around. Yes. And then he has a very popular broadcast that he does. It's a
A
podcast.
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 Where we talk about the potty.
Yes, a podcast. He has a podcast. He's very famous. She does a lot of fan art for it, and then they start working together, and then she figures out who he is, and then it's about their friendship, and then just going through life, and also graduating high school, and realizing that university isn't for everybody, and that's not where you have to pursue your life path if that's not where your interests are.
So I was not correct in the slightest.
Not at all.
Except that there's a
Except
boy and a girl, and
The
they
boy is lonely. You got
find
like
each
half a
other.
point.
Somebody's always lonely in contemporary books.
Someone is lonely, misunderstood, and just like...
Somebody in fantasy has unrealistic magic. Somebody in contemporary is
Someone
lonely.
in fantasy's family has died.
Yeah, they're probably an orphan.
Frodo was an orphan. His parents died in a river accident.
Round 2, Eon by Alison Goodman.
Got a lady with 2 katanas? No, I think they're too broad up there to be a katana. 2 pointy swords.
Stick 'em with the pointy end.
And there's a flame dragon who looks like he's starting to do the YMCA. I think he's actually being like, oh shit, I caught my hand on fire. What do I do?
Oops.
Oopsies. So I'm going to say that this fire dragon is like her soul, kind of like she has the power of the fire dragon, and she, or he, something's gone wrong, evil overlord, and she is going against that with the power of the fire dragon.
I mean, like, no, but also, like, kind of.
Yeah.
So, this one, we've got Eon, and he is training...
Oh, it's a dude.
But is it?
Is it Mulan?
He's training to become a Dragoneye, which is like an apprentice to one of the 12 dragons, which like bless the land and keep it going.
The dragons are real.
Yeah.
They're corporeal.
But they're like, no, they're kind of like spiritual,
Oh.
but I think they can take corporeal form. I forget, it's
Okay.
been a while. But anyhow, he's training, and the big secret is he is a she, but it's illegal for girls to be doing this, so
rude.
drama ensues
So it's Mulan, but with less Huns.
with dragons.
Yeah, Mushu was a dragon.
Oh yeah!
Mushu was a dragon.
I don't do that tongue thing!
We got 2 depressing contemporaries next.
They're all depressing, that's why I don't read them. I'm like, if it's gonna be depressing, I at least need some dragons involved.
History is All You Left Me by Adam Silvera.
Okay.
Just because I brought all contemporary doesn't mean I like all contemporary. And I read high fantasy. We're not saying that Rhea doesn't read high fantasy. Rhea reads high fantasy. Rhea reads pretty much something of everything except for nonfiction.
So there's 2 boys, and they're in love, but then one of them dies, and all that's left is history and sad memories. And then he might find a new boy to love, but it's his own journey.
Yeah, basically.
Yes!
We have Griffin and Theo. They were together in high school. They're like, you know, it's my person. I love them. They're whatever. Such a romantic person. And then Theo goes off to California, so Griffin is like, we gotta break up because I don't want to tie you down, because Griffin has very low self-esteem and needs to work on that. And then Theo dies, which is unfortunate. He also started dating someone else. So then we are with Griffin as he remembers like their time together, and like it has alternating timelines where it first starts with them getting together years ago, and then it's like him going to Theo's funeral and like him working through the 2 months after Theo's death, plus all of their history leading up to Theo's death. And then Griffin's just like working, I don't know, he's working his way through things. It's just very emotional, which we don't do. Anyway.
I'm very emotional.
Yeah,
I'm in touch with my feelings.
I don't think you're this emotional. This dude just like, as soon as Theo dies, it's like his life is over because like he has nothing without Theo. But then you realize their relationship was codependent, and you're like, okay,
is
so
this
it's
why
not
you
a
had
healthy
that
relationship?
You had that rant to me when we met for coffee, like I don't know, a month ago,
probably.
and you were like,
I don't get people.
Stupid people that think that your love is like the only thing you have to live for.
Exactly. Good book. People like it.
Well, I feel like that was kind of easy because one, you told me it was really sad, and two, I have heard that Adam Silvera writes gay characters, so I feel like I had a little bit to go off of.
Yeah.
Not entirely fair.
Or sexually fluid characters. So that's a point for Tori, or Victoria.
Okay, next one, we have got Fire Arrow by Edith Patel.
This is female Robin Hood. And that is Thor missing an eyeball.
He is missing an eyeball. Did you watch the latest movie?
Yeah, that's why I said Thor. Yeah, even with one eye.
I thought you meant because of the hair.
10 out of 10 would approve. I don't know. Female, she's not supposed to know how to fight. She's in some type of castle. She gets trained how to fight by Shadow Dude back here. And then she goes on adventures. Saves the kingdom. We'll go with saves the kingdom. That's like a safe bet. No? Is it female Robin Hood? Because...
No. So I guess kind of. She's a noblewoman and her family gets murdered, so she goes on a revenge quest. Somebody gets sick. Her nursemaid. Yeah, because her family's dead. It's her nursemaid. So she goes home and then realizes that her family left her this magical, like, fire arrow, basically. So she takes it to, like, go on a revenge quest with it, but it's magical. And the more she uses it, the more she becomes like it, which is basically, like, unfeeling, lethal, ready to murder everyone.
And on fire.
Yes. So she's got this magical arrow that's basically possessing her and turning her evil. So she's battling that, and then there's also a sorcerer out doing bad sorcery things.
Is that him?
There. That's him lurking in the background.
Okay.
So it's kind of like her inner battle. Is revenge worth it? Is revenge the same thing as justice? I would definitely recommend. This was one of my absolute favorites when I was younger, so 10 out of 10
would read. Now we're going with A List of Cages by Robin Rowe.
Kindness and love can change the world.
For someone who doesn't feel, I read a lot of feel-good books.
She reads to feel because she can't.
A book has never made me cry.
What?
Never.
I think almost every book I read makes me cry.
I think you need to work through some things.
Even the Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants. So this deals with racism, and houses are cages like people were once put in actual literal slave cages. And it's like this guy who deals with that and then has issues, but eventually, like, through friendship with people of other races, they realize that racism is stupid and love wins. And somebody dies.
That's actually called The Hate You Give. But this is not that at all. List of Cages, trigger warning for child abuse. This is about two boys in high school. They're several years apart. One's on the verge of graduating high school, and one is maybe in grade 9. And they were foster siblings earlier on, and they've kind of united. And it's about their friendship. I'm going to say happy ending. Very heavy book. I would recommend everybody read this book.
Are there dragons, though?
There are not dragons, but there are people who should be eaten by dragons.
Not the same thing.
Child abuse, not a good thing. And on a high note.
Okay, next we have one of my all-time favorite books, The Hero and the Crown by Robin McKinley.
So this has my, basically me at work. We have an evil, I'm gonna go with dragon, but if it's a basilisk, I still get the point, because that's some type of angry lizard, a fire-breathing lizard. And then we have, so we've got Legolas, who's got a sword instead of his bow and arrow, and he is fighting Smaug, and Smaug has taken over a town, and he has to kill the lizard, and this guy ends up dead.
I think that's, like, probably no points, even though it's like, yeah, there's a dragon they have to fight, but, like, basically, this is Aaron.
Oh, sorry. His family died.
She is the princess of the land.
Her family died.
And her dad is the king, very much still alive. But her mother did die. Her mother was a witch, so people hate her because
Killed
they
by
think...
dragon.
No, they think that she is a witch and her witch mother basically, like, infected the king. So, like, they don't like her as the crown princess. And so, to prove herself, she goes off and slays dragons. And basically, she is a destined hero to do fun destiny things, which you will read about if you read this.
Okay.
That was a terrible description. Read this book, it's awesome. I don't think you get a point for that.
Okay, so then The Universe versus Alex Woods by Gavin, I'm just gonna say Gavin.
Gavin Extents. We got a guy. Oh, there's two guys. And there's a cathedral-looking thingy. So there's two guys living somewhere in the UK, and they're in love, and one of them is depressed and feels like the world is out to get them. But their love will change that.
There's no points. No points for this. In this story, we have Alex, who gets hit in the head by a meteorite. Good start.
Didn't see that coming. That's not on the
he
cover.
did not. And he's always been a bit of a weird kid, and it's about his budding friendship with his elderly neighbor named Mr. Peterson. And, like, Alex develops into a very interesting young man, and Mr. Peterson is able to let someone into his life after his wife passed away, and it's about their friendship. It's a phenomenal book. I absolutely love it. This character has a trait that you don't often see in any types of works of fiction, as far as I'm concerned, where he just does things because they're the right thing to do. Like, for him, it's not a choice, which is something that I have gone through and something that I do, but a lot of people are like, no, like, you think about things and then you determine, like, no, if it's the right thing to do, then you do it. There is no choice.
What is the right thing to do? Is there a right thing to do? Is there objective good and evil?
Okay.
So I was very wrong. Nobody's depressed and nobody's in love.
Mr. Peterson's a bit depressed at the end, but then he gets happy. And then he gets dead. That's not a spoiler. It starts with Alex getting stopped at the border with Mr. Peterson in an urn.
So 10 out of 10 would not read.
Read the book. It's so good.
But yeah, I mean, I'm sure it's great.
This is about
real life. The final round, we have Falling Kingdoms by Morgan Rhodes.
So this is the Assassin's Creed, the book.
There is an Assassin's Creed book.
There is? Yeah. They've written
and they
books
do look
about
like
Halo.
that.
Yeah. So this is about an individual with a dagger who has to decide whether, like, what side of a battle that he's on. Like, there's two, I'm going to say that there's two, not necessarily armies, but two, like, opposing factions, and he has to choose which side he or she goes to, and then that'll decide the course of which faction will survive.
It's very incorrect.
Oh my god.
Basically, this follows three protagonists. So there are various sides, but there's three kingdoms.
Okay.
And also there's, like, a rebellion happening. There's just a lot of stuff going on, hence why they say fans of Game of Thrones will like this, because there's a lot of protagonists and a lot of stuff happening. There's romance and lots of death, and also some, like, fourth party watchers that are supernatural creeping on the kingdoms.
God.
It's a good
Okay.
time.
Well... You can't have your sister have another kingdom.
And the final round, final guess.
Final book. I'm not gonna win, so Tori can either 1 owe me or 2 owe me.
How badly am I gonna smush you into the dirt?
We have Truly Devious by Maureen Johnson.
Somebody is a psychopath, and the ivy is because they're poisonous. They probably killed somebody with poison. And there's also a depressed person, and he finds himself in his love for another. This is every contemporary book ever.
Yeah. Alright, so we have Truly Devious. Yes, there are dead people, but I'm not going to give you a point for that because it was way off. We have a man who built a school who believes that learning is a game. So then he made a school where people can go and learn at their own pace as long as they're, like, really bright and stuff. Then his wife and daughter are kidnapped by someone who calls himself Truly Devious. And this opens with one of the best poems I've ever read. It's phenomenal. Fire's festive, drowning's slow, hanging's a ropey way to go. Ah. Truly Devious, 10 out of 10.
Might read.
Dope poem.
Are there dragons, though? I'm just kidding.
I'm sorry, as soon as you say hanging is a ropey way to go, that is, like, literally the best line I've ever read. Because it is a pun and it is murder. Any rope, you're fine.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
If you kill me, who is going to be your spinster wife? You're going to die alone.
Surrounded by pigs. Dwarf pigs, the actual pig.
Like teacup pigs.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, pigs were my favorite animal.
Pigs and cheetahs.
And I tried to pet one and it bit my finger.
I got attacked multiple times by bunnies.
And that's why she has nightmares from Monty Python.
I'm getting a shirt of the bunny from Monty Python. It's sitting
But you are the
on
bunny.
a pile of skulls. It has blood on its little white mouth. It says, like, run away.
So, that's Rhea for you. Follow her Bookstagram because it's more of this bloody death and murder in a humorous and exciting way. Yay! That concludes this video. I am the victor.
I'm the queen of your castle now.
I feel like it was a little unfair because I did have some clues about that one.
And also, like, contemporary is pretty, like...
Everybody's depressed and falling in love.
Everybody is like, everything is fluid. My emotions, my sexuality.
The point is, we all suffer that, so let's read about dragons. Thank you so much for being here.
Well, thank you for having me.
The love of my life.
Okay.
She's very uncomfortable with physical affection.
Don't stroke my chin.
And I will see you all in the next video. Love you all. Bye.
Live long and prosper.